Hi, I'm Valery Molone, leadership coach, motivational speaker. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about should you practice self-love. I'm going to go over what is a self-love. I'm going to go over why you should practice self-love and how to practice self-love. But before I do that, be sure to share this video, be sure to like this video and leave a comment and tell me what do you do to practice self-love. Okay, so let's go over what is a self-love. Now we hear this a lot, people throwing it off all over the place, self-love, 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 but we really don't understand the meaning of it, what really it is. Now I've never met a person that I ask them, do you love yourself? And they say, no, I don't. They never say that, right? Everybody says, yes, of course I love myself. What do you mean how I don't love myself or practice self-love? So the word self-love gets thrown away very lightly. And because of that, I wanted to make this episode and tell you how important it is to practice self-love. So let's go. What is a self-love? Now I'm going to give you the definition of my perspective of what self-love is. Self-love is you, your personality, your look. If you're tall, if you're short, if you're big, if you're small, if you're quirky, if you're funny, if you're geek, whatever personality that you have, that's you loving yourself for who you are. That's really what that means. Now, it's simple, right? But unfortunately, it gets turned around and this whole social media make it so bad. Why? Because everybody follows everybody. Everybody trying to be somebody else. And they forget their own identity. Since social media got very popular, now I'm old, in an old age, we didn't have that. Okay, that's why people used to love themselves more. But now, unfortunately, people put things in their highlights. Girls get plastic surgery done. They get all these stuff done. They change their clothes. They change their thing. And everybody else trying to follow them. That's the opposite of self-love. That's you copying somebody else. That's you forgetting your own identity of who you are. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. Now, taking care of yourself means that you want to get your hair done, you want to get your face clean and nice and shiny, you want to get your nails done. For guys, you want to get a sharp haircut. Whatever that is, that's good because that's you taking care of yourself. But self-love is to love yourself for who you are and how you were born and what your personality is and who you really are. When you sit in a group of people, do you stand out? Do you actually speak from a heart, from your beliefs, from who you are, or you try to airbrush your words or try to be somebody that you're not? That's really what self-love means. And a lot of us don't look at it that way because we say to ourselves, yes, we love ourselves, but we really don't know about ourselves. And just to make a point, if people take self-love seriously, we wouldn't have this much stress, anxiety, fear, self-doubt, being a people pleaser. Why? Because we're lacking self-love. And that's really what it is. Self-love is that you hiding behind something. You have this mask on. You're trying to be somebody else. You're trying to not to show your true personality of who you are. Now, some may like it, some may not. And that's okay. But that's really what self-love is. To know yourself from inside out. And to shine from inside out. And to be from inside out. That's what really self-love is. So let's talk about why should you practice self-love? Well, I just mentioned. To get to know yourself. Who are you? And it's funny as a coach, when I ask people, who are you? Their answer is always, I'm a very giving person. I'm a very kind person. I always take care of other people. I'm very funny. They describe how they are with other people. They don't talk about themselves. Never you see anybody says, I love myself. I think I'm beautiful. I think I'm intelligent. They never say that. It's the opposite. They always take their personality and describe doing things for other people. That's how they describe it. So if I ask you, who are you? You're just giving me a description of what you do. How you do things for other people. You give other people love. You're kind to other people. You do things for people. And that's how you think you're describing yourself, and that's how you think who you are. Now, that's being generous, that's being kind, that's you being a human being. But that doesn't mean it's real you. A real you is that you're really comfortable with yourself, describing yourself and loving for yourself for who you are. So, body image. What kind of body image you're in? Whatever that is. Fat. People call it fat. You're skinny, you're too tall, you're too short. So the exterior always gets described first. Why? Because we can see it, right? So we can see somebody. So if you have a wrinkle in your face or you have a gobble neck, I have to say that because I do have it. So things like that. Why? Because you see me right now. You're watching me. So my exterior body is first impression. So taking care of yourself, not loving yourself. Taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your body. But we hide and we just don't want to describe our own personality. See me, I'm very sarcastic. I talk all the time. I make a lot of jokes. Sometimes people don't get my jokes, and sometimes people look at me like, what are you talking about? That wasn't funny. And especially my kids are notorious for that. Like, Mom, that wasn't really funny. Why did you say it? But I do it because that's who I am. And my friends and my family knows me. That's who I am. They don't take it as offenders. They just say, okay, you're funny. And that's your personality. So the more you practice self-love, the more you're going to learn about yourself. You're really, really who you are. What are your quirky things? What do you love about yourself? What kind of person you are? Are you a slow learner? Are you a fast learner? Are you a very introvert? Are you extrovert? What is it? So practicing self-love is actually knowing your identity, knowing who you are, knowing what do you like and dislikes are. And that's really important. It's important to do because a lot of us, we don't do this anymore. Why? Because we're so busy. We're so busy doing other stuff. We're working, we're taking care of families, we're taking care of kids. We try to please everybody. We try to put everybody in front of us. And it's getting worse and worse and worse, especially with technology. I mean, for God's sake, people now in their break, what do? They just like get off the office, they go in a cafeteria, or if the weather is nice, they go outside. They're on the social media. They're literally eating on the social media. They don't even enjoy food. They don't even know the taste of the food because they're just either they're working or they're like going to see what's going on social media, and or they go home, take care of their family. They really don't know themselves. So it's very important for you to practice self-love. Now, here's a question. How can you practice self-love, right? And one of my biggest things is meditation, and I talk about this all the time, and I teach meditation to my clients, and I tell you, one of the best ways to know yourself is to take time. To take some time for yourself. To make a list of stuff for yourself. So one of them, sit down in a quiet place and do meditate. When you do meditate, close your eyes and think about the sensation of your body, your personality, who you are, and what do you like? What do you dislike? What bothers you? Why do you feel the way you feel? Why are you stressed? Why do you have anxiety? Why do you have a fear? Why are you so people pleaser? These are the questions you should ask yourself during the meditation. And closing your eyes and disconnecting yourself from exterior world is actually making you more and more alert about your own self. So the more you do that, the more you practice self-love, the more you know how to practice self-love, the better person you become for yourself and for other people around you. So that's one of the things you should really implement. Now, I know people say, well, I meditate. And I ask a lot of people, why? Number one, because it's a trend. Now, it's a new trend. Everybody says meditation is good for you, for this, for that, for that. I grew up with meditation. Meditation was part of my religion. Meditation was part of our life. So when I was young, I didn't know what it was. And now, when I learned more about it, and as I got older, and I was going through a lot of obstacle in my life, and I was going through a lot of trauma in my life, meditation was one thing that helped me a lot, because I would ground myself and I would say to myself, well, who you are, what do you want? And I used to ask this question to myself every time, and I would come up with an idea and knowing that who I am and what I'm capable of doing, so I would get myself out of that. So the one thing you can do is meditation. The other thing that you can do is very effective, is very simple, but my strategies are always simple. I like simple. If it gets too complicated, I won't do it. And believe it or not, in today's busy lifestyle, if I give you strategy that's too complicated, you're not going to do it. So here's what it is. give me a favor. Sit down one day, take some time for yourself, and write down every day, what do you do for yourself? Now, with this in mind, this taking care of yourself, that's you taking care of yourself. Like, what do you do to practice self-love? Do you meditate? Do you actually go get in touch with nature? Do you pick a beautiful book and read it in a quiet place and make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or a cup of cocoa? Do you walk in the snow? Do you go hiking by yourself and just looking at nature and get in touch within yourself? Do you do all of that? Write it down. See how often do you do that? How often do you disconnect yourself from electronic, from social media? Not watching TV, not going on a computer, not going checking your email, not going seeing everybody's Instagram. Like, do that and make a list of the stuff from Monday to Friday or even from Monday to Sunday. And don't think about it. Just write it down. And if you're not doing it, write that down. If you're doing it, that's even better. Write it down. And at the end of the week, go look at it and say to yourself, what have I done for myself? Have I practiced self-love? And I guarantee you, you're not going to have a lot on the list because you think you love yourself, but you don't. You love other people around you. You love other material things in your life around you. You take care of yourself, but you truly loving yourself and accepting yourself for who you are? I don't know. Let's test you on that one, okay? But that's really what self-love is. Self-love is to spend time within yourself. Now, with that being said, I teach people how to get over their anxiety, how to overcome fear, how to decrease stress, how to not to be a people pleaser, how to stop self-doubt themselves and start something without being afraid that they can't finish it, or even being scared they can't even start anything. And I start all of that with making them practice self-love, because I think that's really important, because everything starts with you. And I've seen mothers that tell me that, oh, I love my kids, but they're so stressed. And I always tell them, how can you love your kids seeing you, you're being so stressed, right? That's not love. That's actually sending a message to your kids, look, my life is chaos. That's not self-love. So you are a role model for your kids. You are a role model for your friends, for your family. So if you love yourself, they'll see that. And a lot of people are lacking confidence. And believe it or not, lacking confidence comes in from lacking self-love. Because if you love yourself, and if you know a lot about yourself, and you go with a confidence, and you tell people, this is who I am, and they will actually respect you. They will actually like you. They will actually appreciate you because you are describing your true self. And that's what my self-love is, my dear. So practice this. Number one, do a meditation. Deliberately go to inside of your heart and feel yourself and say to yourself, what do I know about myself? Think about that. And then every day, at least for a week, give me a favor, do it just for the week. If you don't like it, don't do it. Stop. That's fine. But at least for a week, test yourself and write down, what do I do for myself? How much do I love myself, and how much do I practice self-love? Taking the exterior stuff out. Don't describe taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself, you just have to do it as a human. We have to do. But just what do you do to practice self-love besides doing stuff for other people? Besides being kind to other people? Besides loving other people? Which is a great thing. That's your personality. But you're not practicing self-love. So try those things. Let me know how that works for you. That's what I do for myself. It saved me from a lot of headache, because I go to my world of meditation. I sit down. That's my peaceful time. I never miss it. Unless there's an emergency, I almost never miss meditating. I miss exercise, as you can see, but I never miss my meditation because it's that important to me. So you try. Let me know in the comment below how you feel and what do you do to practice self-love. Share it with other people. I thank you so much for watching. Till next time, have a great day.